Welcome to Inside Haiku Apps.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Let's see, where were we in our quest to find the preferences? Let's see, we've done shortcuts, we've done sounds, we did time way back in episode 2. We don't have to do tracker because this should be quite familiar to you by now. Right, it's the same thing that you can get if you go, where is it? Window, there, preferences. And we had a episode on that. Alright, so what's left here? Virtual memory. This is the last of our standard preferences. And yeah, it's quite a thing, that because other apps can throw their own preferences into the mix here. That is a possibility, but generally these are now the preferences you have with a standard Haiku system, and you can see. Okay, virtual memory. Now, if we look on this system, which is a virtual system, let's see what I gave it. I gave it 2 megabytes, and only 2 gigabytes. Sorry, and only about a quarter of that is actually being used by an empty, there's no apps running apart from this one. So, if I start running different, wait a minute, Haiku Depot is still running. Why is Haiku Depot running? Thank you. Okay, so if I start throwing in apps, they use up memory. Eventually you're going to run out. And what it then does is it takes a piece of your disk space and it swaps its memory out, and then it's got new clean memory in which you can load even more apps. Oh boy, the really technical guys are going to roast me for oversimplifying it so much, but for most of us that'll do it. So, unless you have a system with 32 or 64 gigabytes of memory, leave it on. In fact, even if you do have such a system, just leave it on. Doesn't hurt anybody, okay? So, also leave on automatic swap management. Yeah, you can switch this off, and you can say, I'm going to put my swap on a different drive. People used to do things like that with RAM drives. But why not just use the RAM as RAM? Why go to the intermediate step of putting a drive on it? Right, there may be some edge cases where that is necessary. My advice, leave this alone. See? So at the moment, I'm not using any swap, so 0 bytes. That's the size of my virtual memory. As for where this is, and I used to know this, right, it's on system, I think it's in cache, and no, where did we hide that thing? Here, in boot system var, and there it is. it's actually a 2 gigabyte file, which may look like a lot, but so that's actually the same as my memory. See, but if you really start pushing the envelope and you really, then since this is automatic swap management, I'm guessing it'll increase the size of that swap file. Right, let's change this around, and it will allow a swap file size as large as 53.72 gigabytes. That's a very specific number. I'm guessing that's the amount of space I have left on my not quite. Okay, let's put it back where it was. Just put it on automatic. And revert to what it was. Okay, so unless you have a very specific need, and unless you know exactly what you're doing, unless you're much more techie than I am, I would say leave this setting well enough alone. Yeah, this is not Linux. It doesn't have to be on a separate partition. Haiku apps, especially native ones, are very good at conserving memory, really, and you don't really need to worry about it. And did I just make a 10-minute video just to say that? And that is the last of our dedicated series of preferences videos. Although there are a few things over here, let's see, that we'll come back to, like email, and let's see, and file types we still have to talk about, but that will be in the context of a larger discussion. Yeah, I said larger discussion. I think these videos are not long enough yet. Okay, there's probably going to be a break on the channel for the next few weeks. I will be recording, but I'll be saving them up, and we will recommence the channel early in the new year. I can't just record when I feel like it. I don't have a soundproof studio. Although, if enough of you people buy me coffee, then maybe I can build a soundproof studio. But that's why you will hear household noises and clatterings and dogs barking and vehicles in the road. And I sort of have to wait for a relatively quiet period. Okay, also I have a blog site on which I post the transcripts, roughly edited transcripts, and I'm very behind on that, I think about 2 months behind, and so I'm going to spend some time getting that in order, and by sometime in January you'll start seeing videos again, and then we're going to look at the applications and demos and desktop applets on a default stock standard, no new software installed Haiku system. Well, we've done a few, right? We've done styled edit, and we've even installed something, BPDF. So all of these should be fairly straightforward. Famous last words. Okay, so I'll see you in 2024. This has been a very exciting first season for Inside Haiku Apps. Don't forget, I'm coming back. Don't unsubscribe. And feeling very generous this Christmas. You could buy me a coffee. Just hang on for another few seconds and you'll see the address to go to. Bye-bye.